I think one thing is to remember that the reviewers or panel members at the other end of the application are human. So don't annoy them with very dense text or formatting that's awkward to read or overblown language. Read it as if you would read someone else's application yourself. And be kind to the other person. The more positively they feel about the experience of reading your application, the more likely they are to evaluate it positively.
Okay, my first piece of advice would be around planning. So take your time to really research the types of funding that might be available to you and look at the big funders that people are aware of, but also there may be smaller funding opportunities that you're not aware of. So have a good look around, talk to other people, see what other people have done, and take advice from them. So plan, because a lot of these calls are open quite quickly, but you really need to be thinking about it maybe a year in advance.
First thing to think about is how this fits into your bigger research and career plan. You want to be thinking about 5 years, 6 years from now, where exactly is it you want your career and your life to be. And then you want to be identifying the kind of career opportunities that align with the funding grant as well. So if it's an industry fellowship that would allow you to transition to other sectors and either continue in the academic track with collaboration from industry partners, if it's working with civic society organisations so that you can build them into your grant, your research plan for the future, or if it's a blue skies E or C funding application that you're ultimately edging for. You want to look at where colleagues that have already arrived there have applied for funding beforehand in order to get there. So I guess the main thing I would be considering is how this fits into the bigger plan, that you're not just applying for an individual grant without thinking about where it's bringing you to next.
If you are an early career researcher considering applying for funding, my advice is to consider fellowships. Fellowships are a real powerful pathway. It's a really important pathway to research independence and career development. So they offer like the time and the resources to develop your own research agenda, moving independently from your supervisor's one. So it's in academia, especially if you're thinking about career progression in academia, having funding on your own name is really important. And also, it gives a good message, even if you're leaving academia, for future collaborators or employers, or even for funding, if you're looking at funding opportunities. So yeah, so I think it's a real strategic move to really consider individual fellowships.
So applying for funding is a skill in itself. Grant writing is a skill which requires practice, and here at UCD Research Careers we have a suite of training that will help you with different aspects of grant writing.
So I think if you've identified an opportunity that you're interested in, key things I'd say are reading the call document carefully, because there's a lot of information in there that sometimes gets glossed over. But us as funders at Research Ireland, we're very, we clearly lay out all of the requirements that you would need to meet in order to have a successful application. So do spend time really looking at the call document. Another thing is, do reach out to your research office as soon as possible. Research Ireland has clearly labelled deadlines on all of our calls, but sometimes your university will have an additional internal deadline in advance of that, and it's really important that you're able to meet that. The research offices are also a wealth of information in terms of what makes a good application, what doesn't. They've seen hundreds, thousands of similar applications come through, and they're always willing to help. So I would say reach out to them if you can.